Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Oh my goodness. I am so excited. We actually have folks coming on. Is it crazy that I was nervous about tonight's scope? Yeah, I was kind of freaking out. I have not been on Periscope since September. Hi, hey Auntie Lala, how you doing? I see Terrell there. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. So can you hear me pretty good? Awesome. Okay, so I'm really excited that you guys are joining me tonight. Wow, I can't believe so many people are joining. Yeah, like I said, I have not been on Periscope since September. A lot has happened since that time. We've moved into a bigger space. I kind of have an office and all that good stuff. There's nothing on the walls yet except for paint, but we're going to get it looking really, really cute. So tonight I'm going to be talking to you, just giving you 5 tips on what you need to do when you are planning to write your first book or your second or even your third book. So whatever book you might be on, I'm giving you 5 tips for this. Now, this is based on a blog post that I just posted on my website, TamikaHall.com. And there's actually 11 tips on there. But I'm just going to give you 5 because I'm not going to keep you here all night, honey, because I beat my face just for this scope. How about that? Yes, we beat that skate. Now, listen, if you can, share the fact that this scope is going on. So if you feel like this is going to be beneficial not only to yourself, but to family and to friends and all that good stuff, then go ahead and share that. I think if you're on Android, if you swipe up, you'll be able to share. And if you're on Apple, I think you swipe down. But you probably know more than I do because, like I said, it's been a couple months since I've been on here. So I do want to go ahead and get started because, like I said, I don't like to tarry long. It's late. Thank you guys so much for all the hearts. It just warms my heart, and you're just blessing my bones tonight. So let's talk about you're getting ready to write a book. And you want some tips on exactly what it is that you need to do. Hey there, Bathsheba, how you doing? Listen, if you're wanting to get one-on-one coaching, then my girl she's at Sheba Neo Rock. Bathsheba is hosting a monthly writing seminar. So if you're wanting to do that, then you want to connect with her. Bathsheba, you can go ahead and put your information down in there so people know. Myself and, I call her my Auntie Lala from Fab Virtual Tours. We're going to be on the seminar. And we're going to be talking about different things. Like, my zhuzh is book publishing. I have the coolest job on the planet of helping Christian authors actually publish their work. So I'm really excited about that. But I wanted to talk to you about just a couple of things. And there's Bathsheba stuff right there. I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that I feel like budding authors or those that have written, a couple of times, some of the things that you may not know or the things I wish I would have known when I first started writing my book. So one of the tips that I want to talk about when we're talking about just getting started is brainstorm. Okay, that's the one thing that is really, really important. If you're wanting to write a book, think about the book that has been written, but you feel like there's a better way to write it. Think about the book that hasn't been written, but you know that there's a story that needs to be told, okay? It really kind of falls in those 2 lines. And then finally, especially for those of us that are faith-based authors or, we are potential faith-based authors, you want to write what's in your heart, write what you're passionate about. And if God has called you to a certain subject, listen, it doesn't matter if there's 100 books in that particular genre, only you can tell it the way that God wants you to tell it. So again, the first thing that you want to do is brainstorm everything that you're passionate about. Make a list. Now, here's the cool thing about what's on the blog. I have this handy dandy worksheet, this brainstorming guide that I created for you, and it's totally free. So you'll be able to get that. Just go to TamikaHall.com and you'll be able to see that there. Okay. So again, the first thing is write what's on your heart. Brainstorm what it is that you are passionate about. Because here's the thing. Absolutely. Dee Banks says, oh, hi, Miss Danita. She says passion is essential. It is essential because guess what? You're going to be married to this book for the next couple of weeks or months or whatever it is that it takes for you to do it. So you want to make sure that you are 100% passionate about it. I want to stay with the getting started for just a minute. The next thing that you're going to want to do is after you've kind of brainstormed everything that you want to talk about, like let's say in your brainstorming session, are you going to write a nonfiction book? Are you going to write a fiction novel? Is it a children's book? What is everything on your heart that you want to write? Thank you so much for the hearts. Hey, T, thank you so much for joining me. And then what you do is you make a decision. A lot of writers get stuck right in the brainstorming session. And they're like, listen, I have 10 projects that I want to complete, but I don't know where to begin. Guess what? Make a decision. And sometimes the decision is based off of what is it that people are asking you for? Okay? That's one of the questions. What is it that people are asking you about? Again, it goes back to the heart cry. What is it that your heart is telling you that the world needs to know about? So make the decision and stick with that. The third tip I want to tell you is about just write. How you doing, Donna? Thank you so much for joining me on The Scope. Listen, if you're just joining me tonight, I'm giving you 5 tips of what you need to do to write your first book. Listen, I think everybody is author material. If you have a story to tell, you're absolutely author material, okay? So we're on step number 3, which is what I'm saying is to just write. And I know that may sound crazy, but listen, people get stuck in the brainstorming stage. They never make a decision, but some folks who make a decision, they never actually sit down and write. Don't get stumped in the writing process. Just write. Don't worry about if it sounds good. Don't worry about the grammar in the beginning stages. Just write the book. Just write it, right? That's what you want to do. And here's the next tip, number 4. I'm telling you, like, we're breezing through this, right? Number 4, give yourself a deadline. It's so crazy. I find a lot of, let's see here. Miss Danita says someone else is passionate about your story. That's right. And Miss Danita, this is why it's so good to have a deadline. I'm telling you, I have so many authors that will say to me, yeah, Tamika, I'm going to write a book and I'm planning to release it next year. What? You're going to release it next year? It's January. Are you kidding me? You can do this book and you can get it out in the next couple of months. And listen, I want to work with you. I want to be able to help you through this process. So listen, I'm going to be scoping a lot more. So that I'll be giving you more tips. You can go to TamikaHall.com. You'll be able to get more as well. But again, make a decision, just write it, and then set a deadline. My advice to you is don't go beyond 6 months. Okay? Donna says, I have 2 books I need to write. I need to believe in myself. Yeah, because I already believe in you. If you already know that there's 2 books in there, then guess what? Once again, you're author material, Donna. And if you're passionate about something, then that means that God has put that burden on your heart. I'm going to go back to what Miss Danita said. And she said somebody else is passionate about the same thing that you are. So guess what? Get the story written and get it out there. If you set a deadline, don't set a deadline further than 6 months. Okay. And the reason for that is if you set it too far in advance, we'll get complacent. I mean, you know, we're people. You're going to get complacent, right? So set a deadline. Give yourself 6 months to get this book done. It's not saying that you need to have it published in 6 months, but at least get the manuscript done. Okay. Mr. Nita is saying to you, Donna, just do it. Absolutely. Okay. So just do it. Just get it written. Donna says, every time I talk to people, they say, this is a book. I'm like, really? Okay, then. Yeah, Donna. Get this book together, okay? You know, again, everybody, you got a story that you need to tell, and it's a story that the world needs to hear. And I'm going to be doing a scope and telling you just about how, when you write a book, how that's going to really be able to build your platform. It's going to build your ministry, and it's really going to expand everything about what you do. I'm telling you, I launched a speaking career based off of writing 1 book. And I did that when I had no idea what I was doing. Okay. So it will expand everything. Bathsheba, she agrees with me. She says, amen. Yeah. Let me give you this last one, this last little nugget that I think I want to talk about. Here's something that is so important to me. And I talked to Latanya, author Latanya's on here. That's Faith a Believer. She is the CEO of Fab Virtual Tours. And so what she does, she is a marketing guru. Okay. Like she's insane when it comes to marketing. Actually, she's listed as LAT Boyd 1. That's who you want to connect with if you're wanting to get your marketing stuff together for your book. And the thing that she and I talk about all the time is this last tip. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win. Here's the thing. You've made the decision to write a book. Sometimes you tell people your business and they don't need to know your business. I tell you, and this is actually almost another tip. If you're going to get feedback from somebody, get feedback, number 1, from somebody who knows what they're talking about. Okay, that's important. Number 2, somebody who wants to see you win. I'm trying to tell you something. You're going to find yourself surrounded by so many people who do not want you to win. And guess what? They love you. Guess what? They say they're in your corner. They're telling you every day that they got your back. But once you decide to put pen to paper, all of a sudden they get jealous. And I'm telling you, I don't care who it is. I see it all the time. I've been so blessed to have the coolest job on the planet to work with authors. So many books. Okay, Donna says, can you dispel the thought that there are so many books out there? Why do you need to put out another book? I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. Donna says, make yourself accountable to somebody like LaTanya Boyd or Tamika. Yes, we did. We pushed you out there, Miss Danita. But again, let me just say this. You want to connect yourself with people who want to see you win. These are the people, as Danita is saying, they're going to push you. Because guess what? In this process, you're not going to feel like writing. There are going to be some days that you don't feel like doing it. There's going to be days where the enemy, because I'm talking to believers here, right? And if you're not a believer, I don't mean to offend you, but I believe in God, okay? And so we're talking about him. You're going to find that the enemy is going to make you feel like you are not worthy to write a book. If you're writing a book about your life, he's going to make you feel like your life is not book worthy, like nobody wants to read your story. He's going to throw everything at you and tell you that your lifestyle, whatever it is, that means that you are not good enough for this. But guess what? You need people around you who, number one, can pray for you, who are going to push you and say, have you written your book today? They can hold you accountable, and they're going to push you into your greatness. And I'm telling you, that circle might be one or two people. That's right. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. Your timing on the scope is perfect. Donna says, teach, preach, bring the strong one. I want to tear them down, because I'm telling you, I saw it for myself, where when you release what God has given you, and I tell you, if you have a book inside you, God never gives you just one book, because everybody can want to be an author, but everybody does not have the discipline to sit down and to do what God told them to do. Okay? And I tell people all the time, sometimes God will call you, he gives you an assignment, and sometimes your next level is connected with if you're actually going to take a step and do it. So you're writing this book, you need to surround yourself, one or two people, maybe even three, who actually believe in what it is that you're doing. The moment that you feel like you got somebody who does not believe in you, cease and desist. Stop talking to them about your stuff. Stop letting them read your book. Don't give them anything. And you keep that stuff just to you and God. Because I'm telling you, you got to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and get this book finished. I promise you that he'll do it. Now, let me just finish this. I want to answer this question. And if you have a question, you can throw it up there on the screen. Because, yes, Tiffany, get writing, honey. Tiffany said, let me get home and get to writing. Miss Banks said, I got to get on the next. Yes, you do, Miss Banks. You got to get on the next one. Donna said she wants me to dispel the myth that there's a bunch of books out there. Why write another one? Guess what? There's an author born every single day. But I really believe that God ties us to folks that, sometimes you have an assignment, and there are people that are connected to you. So you have an assignment to reach certain people. In Matthew, it tells us to go out into all the world and to preach the gospel. So guess what, Donna? Just like, yes, there are multiple books that are born every single day. There's multiple ministers. There's multiple pastors. There's preachers that are born every single day. Does that mean that they are not worthy? Does that mean that they don't have a place, that they shouldn't do what they're supposed to do? Guess what? Again, if God gave you the assignment, then you need to do it. So, yeah, there might be a story that's being written or what have you, but only you can write the story that is necessary. Because, again, there are people that are tied specifically to you. And I really believe that if you do what God tells you to do, because the word says it, if you do what he tells you to do, he will exalt you for being obedient to him. God honors that. Are there any other questions? Now, LaTanya, one of the things that she was saying, she gave some tips on how you can get writing. So this is another one of my tips. Now, again, there's 11 tips that I give you on my blog, TamikaHall.com, 11 tips for beginning to write your story. The one tip that I talk about is determine your tools. So decide on the tools that you're going to use. I use pen and paper. I always have that with me. I always use my phone. I love an app called Evernote. It is free, and you can type in it, and it automatically saves your stuff, and you can access your notes right from your phone, right from your computer, everything. And then also I use my voice recorder, because sometimes I'm driving down the road and I don't have time to write. So I'll record myself saying something. So I'm just giving you just a couple of those tips. I'm not going to give you everything, because I want you to go to the blog, okay? So again, go to my website, TamikaHall.com. Listen, if you want to be able to connect and to work together, I love being able to coach new authors. It just blesses my bones, honey. It really, really does. So listen, tonight was 5 writing tips for writing your very first book. Also, I have written a book called Write and Publish Your Christian Book in 10 Easy Steps. So you can find that online. Yes, you can find that online. And again, if you go to TamikaHall.com, you'll be able to read this blog post for you, and you'll be able to get all that. Are there any other questions before I sign off? I will recap those tips. Thank you, LaTanya. Listen, I feel like I'm in church, honey. I just saw that my lip gloss was not popping like it needed to. Okay, so the very first tip that I believe that I talked about, because let me look up here real quick. All right, so to recap the tips, we're talking about 5 tips for writing your very first book. The first one is to brainstorm. Thank you, Donna. She says I'm cute. The first thing is brainstorm the type of book that you want to write. Brainstorm everything that you want to write. Anything, any book, the type of book that you want. T, stop laughing at me. The second thing is, I said to decide. Make a decision. Don't get stuck in the I shoulda, coulda, I will, maybe tomorrow. Don't get stuck in the brainstorming phase. Take an hour and brainstorm everything that you've ever wanted to do, because you can always revisit this list, and then make a decision on the book that you're planning to write right now. Okay? And sometimes it is the book that you have ready information. Very quickly. For example, last year I kept having people asking me, how do I start a radio show? How do I start a radio show? So you know what? I sat down and in 8 hours, I wrote a guide on how to start a podcast or a radio show, because that's something that was needed. So sometimes you will make a decision based off of what everybody's asking for. And sometimes you can do that, because then you can get a book out really, really quickly. So again, first thing, brainstorm. Second thing, make a decision. And then I believe the third thing I said was to just write. Just write. Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about if it's flowing right now. In the beginning phase, in your rough draft, just write. Enjoy the writing process. If you have characters, fall in love with your characters. I love my characters. Like, there are times where I cannot wait to get in front of the computer, because I want to meet my characters and to see where we go again. Okay? So just write in that next phase. Number 4, I said to give yourself a deadline. No further than 6 months out. Now, here's the thing. If you write your book in 1 month, if you do like I did that one day and you were like, and guess what, I don't even drink coffee. Maybe it was Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. So maybe I was like, souped up on Dr. Pepper and I wrote a book in 8 hours. Great. Then your book is done. If you get to 6 months and you've been diligently working, but you decide, I need a little bit more time, then that's great too. But you're holding yourself accountable and you're giving yourself a deadline. Okay, that's number 4. And then the 5th thing is, there are apps out there that will transcribe. And I will tell you that real quick as soon as I'm done. The 5th thing is to surround yourself with people who want to see you win. I'm trying to tell you guys, I have helped authors publish their book. I've helped authors. They have gotten to the end where all we had to do was submit the book to the printer. And then they didn't do it because they allowed the wrong people to get in their ear and tell them that their book was not good. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win. And again, if it's one person, if it's yourself, you, yourself, and I are the best people. Okay? If it's just yourself and God, that's who you need to surround yourself with. Every assignment's not for everybody to know. So surround yourself with people that want to see you win. Now, Donna, you were talking about an app that will transcribe as you speak. There's one called Dragon that will transcribe, and I'm not sure if it's for Android as well. I definitely know it's on the Apple. So definitely Dragon will transcribe for you. But yeah, look up some more and let me know about them as well, because then we can do a scope on that. That would be good. I'm going to look that up as well. Are there any other questions for me before we sign off for the night? I'm so excited you guys came. Is this a good time? If this is a good time, we'll probably be scoping at night. So I'm going to have to make sure that this face is beat at night, honey. Because I'm about to go wrap these locks up after this. I have that Dragon. Oh, it doesn't understand you. Well, Donna, yeah, you do have an accent. Y'all, Donna does have an accent. Listen, for those of you that want to connect with us, as you can tell, a lot of us are we just love each other. You can find me at www.tamikahall.com. For those of you that are on here, if you could type that for me so that it's on the screen, that would be amazing. You can catch myself, Donna, Latanya. You saw T down there. She was listening under Teacher Kisa. We are all on the station of I Worship 96 FM. Yes, I Worship 96 FM radio. We are on the air every single day. Yes. So if you want to have some really amazing music, then please go to that. Again, Latanya Boyd is one of the folks that I partner with. She's amazing. Go to latboyd.com and you'll be able to find out, really great marketing tips and all that stuff. So again, pick up your 11 writing tips on writing your very first book. Oh, I love you too, Matt. I love Matt. He's awesome. And then again, like I said, I got a handy dandy guide for you. It's free, 2 pages, and it'll help you begin your brainstorming process. Okay, listen, stay inspired, stay motivated. Remember, you were created to make God famous. This is Tamika Hall. Have a good night.